Oh, hi. Welcome back to Quake Pro League. I'm 40 Lions, joined by Lethal. And it's my favorite part of the show, Lethal, because we're down to the 2 show matches for the week, and that means we get Papa Wheat back with us.
Lovely.
Is that my cue?
Oh, I think it is. We did it. We made it.
Hey, sorry. I drank so much last night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing great.
That is
It's
unprofessional,
Sunday.
Wheat. No one on the show has ever done that.
That was totally, that was, no. I'm excited to be here as always, 40 and Lethal. Thanks for having me. Everyone, hello. Been seeing some interesting games so far. I kind of like what you were saying earlier, and that, the sweep Sunday, I don't know, is quite a few 3-0s, but I'm hoping the featured matches definitely deliver this week.
Well, contractually, now that you're here, we have a Cooler match. So it's going to be RAISY versus Cooler, and it might be a sweep, honestly. RAISY, a bit of a beast. Cooler, not looking on form. I mean, we've said it so often that it's almost meaningless now, but I don't know. Lethal, what do you think? RAISY versus Cooler?
I don't know either. I'm literally not sure at this point. I do feel like RAISY definitely has the advantage, but Cooler, again, his adaptation still very, very good. He may scrape a map, but that's literally about it. But I hope Cooler does much better. He is a showman, of course, as well as having such good stature in the Quake scene. But yeah, RAISY's still looking very good. And even losing to Cypher last week, he's going to try and, want to take it out on someone.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting, let's see, RAISY is rank 8 right now. Cooler, unfortunately, rank 10. Both of them are sitting 1-1 in terms of Series 1s. And definitely RAISY's had these moments of, brilliance as he normally does. But I haven't seen that same level of consistency coming off of the finals as we've seen him previously. Cooler, similarly, kind of the same. But I've got to believe that RAISY still kind of has a one-up over Cooler here. We haven't quite seen him fully go into Cooler Quake mode in this particular stage 3. But we'll have to see. I think a lot of it will come down to picks and bans.
Yeah, I totally agree, and we can take a look at those as soon as they are ready. So once we get into that, then we can paint a better picture. So take a look. Molten Falls, Corrupted Keep, and Awoken. I like those maps, but Lethal, what do you think about the champ picks specifically between these two players?
Oh, just having a look, we do have to Strog there from COOLLERZ. So, he's going to have a slight advantage in terms of being able to, control the momentum and dictate the pace of this game, just to see what he can do. Bans the clutch straight away. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. And just looking at the maps overall, I would go to Awoken, but Ranger Nix, pretty much see it every single time. I was going to say a Doom, but no, it's actually been bans. And what a surprise there, as we can see from the other map picks as well. I would say for RAISY, his best map has been Corrupted Keep, statistically, and he's got Corrupted Keep. And Cooler, statistically, his best maps have been Molten and Awoken, and believe it or not, he's got both Molten and Awoken. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the bans have been a little bit strange. All the better maps from both of these players have actually slid in. But so it could be the fact that maybe Cooler isn't a fan of Deep Embrace. Maybe RAISY is trying to avoid Exile for some reason. I'm not too sure. Or maybe they know something I don't. That could also be another factor. And Cooler also banning Veil with RAISY banning Ruins, because we know that if he's going to be the attacker with, not gaining the lead in any way, and he's on the back foot, then he's have to play the chase game. And it's like on Ruins, being on a heavy jump pad, the back stairs, or maybe hiding someone orthodox position, wasted time. It is a real pain. He doesn't want to put himself in that position. But in terms of the maps, I think Cooler should be quite happy with the Molten and the Awoken picks. But RAISY, I know it's been a bit weird for Corrupted Keep, because he went through a period where he was really good. No one could touch him on it too. Wenger and Cypher and other these players could actually beat him no problem. And now he's gone back to the stage where he's actually really good at it again.
Wait, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, based off of everything that Lethal said, it reminded me of something that Cypher said last week, where he just said, RAISY is incredibly frustrating to play against. So on some of the situations that Lethal kind of spoke to, a lot of it's going to be up to Cooler adapting to kind of that quote unquote annoying style, not sure what you're going to get. But we have seen Cooler in some of these matchups throughout the week kind of do these interesting things where he's slowed down. He's played much more of a brain game than he's played an aim game. And I do think that's what he's going to need to do versus RAISY.
I completely agree. And I just want to take a peek at the predictions, because I can see them with glasses, and it looks firmly in place of RAISY. 86%. No respect
Wow.
for the king. I don't know. I feel like if RAISY's off his game, Cooler's the one to kind of strike when someone is a little off, and maybe, I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Is maybe not
Well-
not respect, but if they under kind of, I don't know. I don't know words. Wait, go ahead. A certain something. I don't know.
I think I think what you're trying to say is like, don't forget that Cooler is capable of exploding.
Yeah,
right?
just
Like,
don't underestimate him. Is all I was
if
trying
you're
to say.
if you're
Yeah.
feeling frisky and you think the odds look good on those predictions, like Cooler could just blow it up, right? We've seen him do that before, so the choice is yours.
It's one of his better maps as well to start with, and people are still like thinking, nah, that's not going to happen. They're thinking it could be another sweep.
Wow, yeah, 76 to 24, and yeah, I mean, if you got a little channel points, predict the under. Why not? That's that's my life advice. Always predict the under. Why not? But yeah, I think Lethal, you've done a great job, and I appreciate you. But I need some alone
Cheers,
time
mate.
with Papa Weed. I hope you don't mind.
I'll see how it is. It's fine.
We'll
Go on.
see you
Have
soon.
your-
We'll
have your
bring you
fun.
back.
Have
We'll
your
see you
fun.
soon.
We
We'll
will.
see you soon.
It will be amazing.
Boom.
Well, now
Like
that he's
that,
gone,
like
thank
magic.
God. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The production
But
magic that we need.
Both these players, 40, the one thing that's very, very evident is that both these players desperately need a win, right? These are not players that you typically do expect to see the number 8, number 10 spot. Now, they've played a few less games than some of the other players who are ranked above them, but this win for either of them is going to be big going into the latter weeks of Stage 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where it starts building, where you see yourself cemented in relegation or not, and you're like, oh no, this is terrible. So you definitely want to pull out those wins early and make sure that, if you falter near the end of the stage, you're kind of still out of the danger zone and you don't have to worry about it as much. So yeah, this is going to be a critical game for both of these players, and I'm really interested to see how it goes, as you mentioned, to see if Cooler can kind of play that defensive, set the pace kind of game, or if RAISY's just going to come out of the gate swinging and tear it apart. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few times I mentioned that we've seen Cooler do that, and here's what I kind of expect. Expect to see that at the beginning of the matchup, but the question is whether it works or whether it doesn't. It's oftentimes very much abandoned, and I know that if anyone thinks about some of the past Cooler matches that we've seen throughout Stage 3, we've seen that, like, I'm just going to throw myself at the problem. And that doesn't always work out, especially against a player like RAISY. So I expect to see that kind of slower play near the beginning. If it works, maybe continuing on. If not, we might get to see that aggressive Cooler, but we'll have to see what happens. Take it away, buddy.
Well, we are on Molten Live, map number 1 between RAISY and Cooler right now, and we are going to see exactly how this goes. Here's RAISY very quick to grab the armor shard first and then double back to the heavy to negate that and take that away from Cooler. I already like that play, especially since you have that mobility with the Soar Lag. It's a really, really nice start here from RAISY.
Yeah, we'll see if it's the first battle going to happen here. Nice rocket to rail. And that's not going to kill Cooler, but it is going to force him to retreat just a little bit. I think he knows exactly where his opponent is. That missed rocket and a big opportunity there for RAISY to come on in. Now, pretty equal damage thrown out here. Both players very, very low, but RAISY throwing that spit out. He'll defend that area. Actually, Cooler managed to kind of sneak through there, and the ticks away, but RAISY finally picking up a health bubble and that mega. So far, trading blows, but it's been pretty equal here.
Yeah, not too bad in either direction. Cooler doing well to stand his ground. RAISY just kind of testing the waters with his attack.
And that's 40 muted.
I knew that. I was just testing you. Yeah, I was saying that RAISY was doing well at testing the waters, and Cooler was doing well at standing his ground and kind of making sure that the onslaught doesn't unfold. RAISY has to kind of think twice before going full aggro on him.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, that is a layer of respect, I think, that RAISY's going to throw out there. Although 2 rails in a row, and Cooler's the one who's going to have to be putting some respect on that name. Cannot necessarily be throwing out. And wow, a third. He's just firing them away. He's got plenty to hand out here. And there is going to be the first frag as he chases Cooler down with that lightning gun, and that puts him on the board. Now, we talked about Cooler slowing down a little bit, and I wouldn't say he's necessarily playing incredibly aggro, but RAISY, especially with these rails, is forcing Cooler potentially fight and or run. Here's another situation. RAISY on the hunt. He does land a perfect rocket and a great stream of LG to put number 2 on the board.
Just brutal. He's everywhere. Cooler does have the overstack, and just as I say that, RAISY's able to catch some of them out, at least deleting one of them. And I like Cooler's play, though. Set up your overstack right next to the heavy, and then you can play more towards the heavy and kind of give up the mega since you have a pocket mega. But taking a lot of damage now, can't really go up the jump pad. Cooler's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Does have his... Look at that spin. Is it even going to connect? Wow. He has the umbrella. Oh, nope, never mind. On the way out, he gets taken down. RAISY smells blood, and somehow Cooler stands his ground and melts that dinosaur. What a play.
I'm a little surprised by that, but it seemed to work out. Of course, that's going to have RAISY immediately going after Cooler off the spawn, as he knew that Cooler was low, and that does get him a frag. But Cooler got on the board, which is not too bad. In fact, coming out aggressive off the spawn, up that jump pad, is not going to stick around to get that frag, despite the fact that RAISY did chase a little bit. And now RAISY getting ready for that mega. Had the rail trained on it. It's going to see it up top. One rail hit. LG does come out. Nice rocket. And the LG to convert. And Cooler making it 3-2. We got a game.
Really nice play there, but he's going to get absolutely melted. Can't pop the totem in time, and RAISY just takes that right back. But still, Cooler within striking distance. Good rail from RAISY off the spawn. And another one even after the totem. RAISY is just hitting everything, and the machine gun will end it as Cooler tried to do as much damage as he could, but RAISY's still staying alive.
Yeah, RAISY's shooting a 72% rail right now. Every single shot has just been immaculate. And 5-2, a 3-frag lead here is a pretty comfortable lead as we're about to hit the 4-minute mark. Attacking from the bottom, Cooler is not going to fare too well as he gets hit with a rocket and a rail, and another one on the way out.
Oh no! So close.
Like he was about to steal it away, but he does go down. RAISY gets the frag and the heavy.
Wow, and RAISY just fearless, pushing through, getting another frag, and that's so unfortunate Cooler wasn't at least able to burn that heavy, because that fight may have gone in his favor had he.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's already in the past. Up 5, RAISY looking to maybe extend the lead and getting closer to the midway point. Is this doomsday for Cooler? Is it looking bad, Weed?
You know, we've seen the aggression kind of pick up a little bit. RAISY, he's getting a little bit more showy here and as this match goes on, but he's got the pad on the frags in order to be able to do just that. So waiting out here. Oh my
good lord.
God, just completely unseen. RAISY gets so much LG damage. And this might be another conversion frag here. Look at these rails, 40. This is insane, as RAISY knows exactly where Cooler's going to be. Cooler has picked up the aggression a little bit, and that definitely added a few extra frags to RAISY's board. But 9-2 now, and RAISY's looking like he wants to take Molten convincingly.
I just need to say a couple things of, 1, the rails are absurd. 2, no, why? Oh, no! Man overboard.
So many ring outs today.
Yeah, Sync Air is just all smiles today on the Quake Pro League here as the totem gets down. But can he melt the dinosaur? And he can't. And just, it's just an onslaught now. It's merciless. RAISY is just all over Cooler right now. Rails after rails, rockets, whatever he has, he's throwing at Cooler's way. 76% rail. And I need to say, again, that rail's absurd, but I also need to say, never ever listen to me chat about any kind of predictions. I don't take any legal responsibility for anyone's channel points.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, RAISY has done a pretty good job, too, of off these frags, like keeping that rail out of Cooler's hands. I think that's really one of the ways that he would, need to be trying to get back into this game. We're gonna have a fight here at the the heavy, and it's not even gonna matter. RAISY perfectly knows the timing for that and is able to quickly scoop up and get the frag yet again. Right on top of Mega. This could end up another frag as well.
No, not again.
No.
Make it stop, wait.
No. I mean, I like to see the aggression. It is Quake, right? It's something, it's healthy. But when you're giving away frags like this, it's inevitable that your opponent is going to be walking away with it. And that's kind of what RAISY has done. RAISY's looking real good, 40. I think that's what I take away here from game 1 so far.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Just picks him right out of the sky. And yeah, RAISY is looking like a killer right now. And 3 minutes still left of this is what I'm worried about for Cooler.
Oh yeah. We got 20 frag potential here for sure. And RAISY, he's shot 21 rails and 15 of those have hit. That's
oh my goodness.
16,
what is
17 of them. Rail 17 for 17 frags, 40.
It's so crazy. I can't believe. Oh my God! Stop it! I'm sure Kilson's watching and he's like, "This is not right." Like that's so crazy.
He's feeling himself. It is. That's exactly what's happening here, and I think a Cooler, just based off of what we're seeing here, he knows it. He's fighting to fight to get the extra practice in, but this dude's crazy. That's our man RAISY right now. 19-2 as we have less than or just about 2 minutes left to go. A little bit of spit is not going to stop Cooler, but those rails that continuously hit might as wow. It's just unreal.
It's so ridiculous, man. Like, at that point, whoever you are playing RAISY, what do? You can't do anything. He just keeps hitting. All right, he missed one, but he hit again, and he hit again. It's, oh man, 75% shooting above 30 rails is absurd. He did it again.
Make it 76%. And he's just, getting all the opportunities to hit these rails as well. 90 seconds left, and these might be the longest 90 seconds that Cooler is going to experience here in Quake Champions, unfortunately. As another attempt here. 4 points of health. There it is, the nail gun frag.
He did
There's still time, 40.
There's still time, just like Dan always says. It's still possible. Cooler with the string of LG. It's looking pretty good, and RAISY finally misses another rail. And now Cooler just has to make the most glorious comeback of all Quake.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
It's not, but man, there was a chance. There was a chance.
And that's a massive score line. A lot of people predicting RAISY was going to be the winner, and it definitely, they're reading the books. They know what's up because 22-4, that's not a score that you normally see versus a player like Cooler. But here we are.
Again, any given Sunday, as cliche as it is, it doesn't matter. It can happen. Absolutely absurd, and can't even get the last rocket off, and RAISY's sitting on 69% rail. That's real nice, Sweet. Real nice.
It's nice. It is. I mean, he could have just stopped railing at 75%, so he could say, I got a 75% rail versus good, but he had to keep shooting his shot. And here we go in the final seconds to end us up here. The final score, 23-4. Wow.
That was map number 1. It's going to be a long series for Cooler, I feel like. And I know that the maps and champs change. It's going to be different pace. The strategy going into it is going to vary. But man, RAISY looks real good. Like, that was just such a phenomenal display of just mechanics, positioning, everything. Even the LG, as you mentioned before, the string of LG was beautiful. It just reminds me of Dan's awful impression of what an LG sounds like. It was really, really nice to see. And again, unfortunately, Cooler had to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, I mean, now we know why Corrupted Keep was thrown out here, because you got to give yourself a chance here versus RAISY without a rail, but we'll have to see exactly what happens. And 2 ring outs to add to the collection here for week number 5 of stage 3. Not as good as that scale ring out that I saw earlier. That was pretty great. But yeah, wow, what a way to start this series off, as Cooler has a very tall mountain to climb here. We'll be switching on to Corrupted Keep, where RAISY will be playing the DK, and Cooler will be on the Strog. And it's going to be a tough one. I mean, given the tenacity that RAISY was showing in that last matchup, there's no way he's going to let up. We talk about getting in that groove, finding that zone 40, and RAISY found it well before this matchup started.
Completely agree, and like I said, it might be a nightmare for these next two maps on Cooler's part. But we have seen this matchup previously today, Strog versus DK on this very map. So maybe Cooler took a look at, and maybe he can take a page out of Maxter's book, flying around the map, being able to, if you open up the game and you get a frag, making sure that you capitalize and at least get another 1 or 2 off the spawn, because he's going to need that padding if he can get it. Because RAISY he's ripping out all the stops right now. He's going to go for 320 frag games, in my opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised either, 40, which is, again, a little surprising to hear that. But no, I wouldn't. I mean, look, we talked about RAISY's inconsistency, but just like we talked about COOLLERZ' ability to explode, RAISY has the same attribute, right? He has the same quality in that when he really wants to bring it, and he's feeling it, that's the type of game you get. And when you see it versus caliber of players that we have here in the QPL, it's a scary thing. It makes you wonder how RAISY could even lose a match, right? He did lose to Cypher recently, but that might be a good kick in the pants to say, all right, we need to turn it back up. It's RAISY time.
Yeah, and I think it was, as we see here, taking a look at the prediction real quick, 90% in favor of RAISY. Again, brutal, but after the first map, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's what makes the most sense going into map number 2. Again, it's going to be Corrupted Keep, DK versus Strog. Yeah, that burst damage with the Flame Strike could just make all the difference in the world, but the mobility on the Strog is going to be really nice for Cooler. I think if he can kind of hit and run and use that machine gun at a distance, he stands a chance. Mostly it's going to be all about the mental reset. We always talk about that, right? Quake is a game where it's me and you in a server. If you get inside my head, I crumble, because it's you. You can't look at your teammate and be like, why didn't you flash for me, dickhead, or anything like that. Like, it's all you, and you just have to be able to reset going into the new map and saying, all right, new game, nothing matters. And it's hard, it's easier said than done, but I think Cooler is a vet, so I think he's going to be able to do it. It's just a matter of coming out and performing again, because RAISY's nuts right now. So
yeah, you mentioned the MG, but I also think, LG is going to be pretty crucial on this matchup. We've seen a lot of little sneak attacks from RAISY in this particular map, and I'll be curious to see what he's going to try to deploy against Cooler here. But yeah, the machine gun we've seen just kind of become a staple of Corrupted Keep in terms of the different areas, especially the fight in that mega room. Always some machine gun battle is going on. But we've also seen more and more QPL players almost use it as a go-to, always on damage weapon here on Corrupted Keep. And if RAISY has that same level of rabidness that he had in game number 1, we could see another 20 frag game. But here we go.
See right now as we are live on map number 2 between RAISY and Cooler. RAISY again on the Death Knight, Cooler on the Strog. It's all about the start. Very important for Cooler to get a better start here. Maybe get some momentum going again with the mobility. It could be in his favor. Can cut off, make sure that he gets to the spawns after the frag. But look at this play right now. Needs to be careful. RAISY, what a sneak attack. Almost sends him off the map with a home run. The peeker, can it save him? Almost does. Lots of damage, but picked out of the sky. RAISY gets that first frag.
I mean, I thought for sure, given the fact that the element of surprise was in play there, that RAISY was going to get that first frag a lot easier than he did. Cooler certainly put up a fight, but RAISY had a real interesting start right there. He grabbed himself a tri-bolt and then had a rocket. So I think that was his chance to say, okay, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Let's see if I can find some free damage. And well, it wasn't exactly free, but he did get that first frag on the board.
Now Cooler has the ability to kind of settle in a little bit here, trying to do good damage around Banana, but after that heavy pickup, stacks are about even. Cooler does double back onto the Mega, but that allows RAISY to know exact timing because of the sound. So now it's just a position battle here. Being stuck behind the statue could be a nightmare. The Tri-Bolt raining up rather, as RAISY doesn't actually connect with any of that damage, unfortunately.
No, he doesn't. And, Cooler's definitely playing a better game than map number 1 so far. He's also slowed it down a little bit. He's trying to find some opportunity to kind of throw out some damage, and it's been working. Cooler actually with the better stack right now. Of course, there's the heavy, and RAISY's going to need some health. He does find it there. He sees his opponent. Oh, almost gets hit with that direct rocket, but the flames send him back just a bit, and then an easy pickup thanks to the LG and the Shoddy. 2 to 0 right now. But the difference is that a lot of these frags are coming back answered, right? As in a lot of damage is being dished out. Here's another opportunity here. RAISY gets machine gunned down and COOLLERZ on the board.
Really good work there from Cooler to get that clap back, so to speak, and put himself on the board. Make sure that RAISY doesn't get another one for free. Keeping it close here. Does have the peeker, and LG could get a good beat on him, and he does with the flame strike coming out. Great peeker from Cooler, but he is going to tick down. He can't really hang out too long as he goes actually back through the flames, but 225s, so no big deal, but no armor to his name either, Wheat.
Yeah, and that's where you still got to be careful. I mean, you know, flames are down, so but a direct rocket could end your life. And oh, he's gonna see him coming up. He does get tagged with that rocket. LG on his way down, but RAISY with the perfect rocket, knowing he was very, very low on that one. Machine gun does come out. A rocket attempt. It will allow Cooler to grab that mega and rearm, which is pretty important. He's still only down by 2. And like I mentioned, every single time these twos have gotten in a scrap 40, it's actually been very close. Like neither's walking away full health and armor.
Yeah, absolutely. No one has the ability really yet, or has gotten the clean kill. Here's the LG into the flame strike, but he's going to drop right down, and RAISY didn't really expect that at all, and somehow staying alive, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Scraping by with 20 plus HP, but not going down.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate there because I think Cooler was hoping to get that frag. He got the jump on RAISY, dropping down in that red room. And RAISY now going to set up for another trap. Cooler having an idea. A nice jump through, actually. He's going to get the LG bead on RAISY. And that actually might open things up a little bit. Could attack the Heavy and then make his way up. No, Mega. Well, yeah, Heavy's going to be the battlefield, and Cooler's going to just go ahead and retreat around, grab that Mega, as we still have both those items spawning very close to one another, 40.
Yeah, items almost synced up here, but Cooler really, really smart play to pivot and go to the other item, and I thought he was going to take the tick damage, but he is still extremely weak, even if he's not burning alive. So Cooler constantly on the back foot, it seems, and no armor, is able to drop down and grab at least a 50 shard, but RAISY's doing a good job of controlling the upper 50 shard as well as Heavy.
Oh, taking a little dip in the lava. Even the toes are enough to make it hurt. And RAISY, once again, so low, but he comes out with a lot of stitches, but all of his body parts are still intact. 4-1, Cooler down by 3. We've got about to hit the halfway point of this matchup, and I still think this one's incredibly close, right? Either of these players could go on a nice little frag roll here. This RAISY's going to try to jump up, continue to throw. I don't know about that flame strike right there, but it doesn't do much. But the tri-bolt does a lot, and he's going to go ahead and try to fight this one. And RAISY with the machine gun blast as he comes out of the teleport. And look at how low he is.
Yeah, how many times is RAISY going to survive with 25 HP or less this map? It's absolutely bonkers, Weed.
It is so nuts. I mean, it has happened 3 or 4 times already. And is it going to happen again? Doing the dance up top. Cooler finally on the board again. 5-2.
That is the cleanest kill that Cooler has gotten, and he needs to make the most of it off the back of that. He should be able to get this Mega, maybe even this kill, if he figures out exactly where RAISY is. That rocket damage will give him enough information as he tries to get the 50 and get out. So now Cooler full map control, but again, frags are the key to this, since he got such a clean one initially. But after all of this, RAISY looks like he's stacked back up. Does get caught out with a rocket. There's the flame strike, but the peeker flies right by. Does really, really good damage, and I don't think he even knows that he's chased. Nope, RAISY is
nice.
Aware of it, but the rocket won't stop him. So really good push from Cooler, and he gets back in time for the Mega, and this should be another one, Wheat.
I think he's going to grab it. I mean, we're getting to see here suddenly where the mobility is starting to come into play. And we're in a situation where enough time is now separating both of these major items that Cooler actually might be able to go through a few cycles of control here. He's looking for his opponent, but he's got a lot of time to kind of work with here. Flame Strike does come out. Heavy is up. Unfortunately, Cooler's not going to be able to take that. And he's made his way over to the Mega maybe a little bit too fast right there. Could give RAISY an opportunity. Pops down, and RAISY with the easy drop with the MG. And that's going to make it 6-4, but still a very, very close game here.
really, really close game, but that was not how Cooler wanted that to go. Unfortunately, giving up the heavy and then subsequently the mega, and now machine gun on machine gun. Cooler trying to get this shotgun blast, just missing almost, and RAISY. Wow, a little bit of a juggle with the rockets there. 7-4. Cooler again, machine gun to machine gun, doing great damage, but RAISY can stack back up and make it right. Wow, that LG through the doorway is insane.
It's got to be so frustrating, too. You know how low your opponent is, but this is so risky. And those were 2 frags that were essentially gift wrapped. And not by, like, you, 40. This is like when you purchase a gift and then you ask them, the store, to gift wrap it, and it looks better than any gift wrap. Like, that is what
this is the classy stuff. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
2 free frags from Cooler on that one. And RAISY walking away again, less than 25 HP. Absolutely nutty.
I really hope Cooler doesn't want... I mean, I want him to watch the VOD, but I don't, because he's going to see every time he almost kills RAISY, and he's going to want to punch through his monitor.
Oh, he knows, right? It's why he's gotten aggressive. I mean, and some of that is frustration. The other is, like, he knows. He heard the screams, right? He's like, he was screaming. There is a nice...
Wow, rockets. Amazing.
Pinned up against the wall on that one. 11-4 now, and what was such a close game got turned around very quickly, 40.
Just an insane performance from RAISY. And the rockets again. Good trade, though. Cooler's able to get that last tickle. But with 1:30 left, 7 frags, I feel like RAISY has put this one away, regardless of Cooler getting another couple frags. It's mental to think about all of those fights, how 1 extra cell of LG or machine gun would have made the difference.
It is. I mean, it's very rough, because this score line would have been much different if that were to be the case. RAISY very low. Peaker getting some action, 12-6, but with 1 minute left to go. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out. And we saw the mobility of Strog really come into play here for Cooler, but that's not enough, right? It just simply isn't enough. And I think that there's so many times where 1 extra tick of damage, 40, would have resulted in a frag, and it could have completely changed the course of history.
Yeah, I don't know, going into map number 3, I don't even know what to think anymore. Is RAISY again just getting another frag, adding to the score count, stacking up the stats. Just brutal.
It is. In the final moments of this game, RAISY with some beastie LG. He is going to end this one. Not with 20, 40. Definitely close game, even though the frag line may not say may say otherwise. But in the final seconds, 15-6 looks like it's going to be the final score. Unless RAISY sneaks one out here. Nope, he doesn't have a railgun. Just easy peasy. Several hits there. 15-6, the final score. 40. This could be a 3-0.
It could be another 3-0, and I don't even understand what's happening anymore. If we have a day of all 3-0s, has that ever happened? I don't know. Flea is somewhere out there running through the facts, I know. He will put it in the chat, I promise you. But RAISY takes the series. That's done. Can Cooler put up a map? Again, all maps are worth money. They're worth, seeding. You need to make sure that you can get whatever you can to make yourself, free from relegation. And it looks like RAISY's just pushing Cooler down.
Yeah, I mean, as we rewatch some of the frags from this game, just look at how many times these players were trading an immense amount of damage, and it could have gone either way. There was also some very, very nice just LG beads that came out. Saw some interesting rockets, that pin right there. And of course, as you mentioned, the machine gun also playing a big part in this one. But ultimately, we see RAISY take the series, but as you mentioned, a third map still on the table, and these boys are going to be fighting for the scraps of that one.
Oh yeah, it's not over yet, but RAISY is looking to sweep, as we've seen all day today. It's just absurd, the amount of sweeping. Everything's so clean here, Wheat, but it'll be Awoken Nyx versus Ranger. RAISY's on the Nyx, so maybe maybe that'll affect the gameplay style a little bit. It's a lot harder to play aggressive with Nyx. You take one foul rocket, you have to use Ghost Walk. You're already on the back foot, especially against a Ranger, where Cooler has the ability to use the Dire Orb for both mobility and just big burst damage. But I say that knowing full well that RAISY's probably going to push right off the spawn and just test Cooler's boundaries almost immediately. So that's one thing that makes RAISY so special is like he'll test you like right off the bat and be like, all right, well, if you can't hit your shots, if you're not ready, this is kind of how the game is going to go for you. Sorry.
And that's a scary thing. I mean, let's just think back to game one, right? 75% rail at one point, down to 69 to end it. But clearly, that would be one area that I'd try to emphasize is like, let's try to keep that rail out. Of course, it's not the only weapon that RAISY knows how to use, but certainly in play here. And given some of the angles he was hitting before, I'm already having bad dreams for you.
I feel bad for Cooler already. 89% in the predictions for RAISY again. Can't even fight it. It makes perfect sense. Hopefully Cooler can pull something out and work a little magic, but this might be the day of RAISY getting a 3-0.
It might be, and he needs it, right? He did have the 2-1 versus Cypher. He did play versus Sparty and took that one down, but certainly he's sitting at 3-3, and maps a 3-0 would definitely be helpful.
Let's see if he can do it, Weed, as we're live on map number 3 between Cooler and RAISY. We are on Awoken, and we're starting off on RAISY, who again has the Nyx, has the Mega, now an Armor Shard and Rockets, and is just ready for a fight.
At least a fight with a rocket launcher here. Let's see what he decides to do. Is going to just flip over here. COOLLERZ just sitting with his nail gun, shotgun, and rail, but you can already see he is trying to keep that out of the hands of his opponent. Now, there is something that is like too much effort in keeping the rail out, because then, of course, you can allow RAISY to sneak around like he's doing right here, already landing a real nice rocket, and he can delay that Mega. And does right there, at least a little bit. So they'll exchange major items as Cooler grabs the heavy and RAISY with the Mega.
Some nice wall jumps from RAISY there to control center of the map again. It's just waiting to set this trap. And the nice thing is, you get a free get out of jail free card with the Ghost Walk. If things go terribly wrong, just Ghost Walk out of there. And that's kind of what RAISY's waiting for, just waiting for Cooler to go up the stairs, and Cooler's just too wise to it. He's like, I know that you're probably playing middle of the map. I'm good. I'm not going to go there yet.
Yeah, in fact, he holds out on that heavy just a little bit. That means these majors are pretty close. And here come those rails, and we got an aggressive Ghost Walk.
Ooh, he read the read.
I love it. The aggressive Ghost Walk, the stand still. Cooler looking around, wondering where the Predator is in the trees, and Cooler turning up the aggression off the spawn. RAISY just waited for it, landed a nice rocket, finished with some LG, and there is a Mega, and he is back to full, and he's going to get both of these majors. Maybe Cooler with a chance, and he can't get it. He lands a perfectly great rocket, but RAISY still hits the rail, and he's up 3-0. 40, what a start.
Just explosive. The combo is so good. RAISY on fire right now, and just what do you do if you're Cooler? Everything is going horribly wrong all the time. There's the Mega pickup mid-fight. There's the Dire Orb, though, almost turns it around with that burst damage. 6 HP, and again, the story of the series, RAISY lives with sub 25 HP. And still hits rails. Make it stop. Okay. If you would have hit that, I would have thrown my computer out the window.
Yeah, I would have just alt F4 Quake. I would have just can't have it. That was amazing. I mean, 4-0. He started off and he has made a definitive statement here. As he gets back up into Mega, misses that rail, but lands a great rocket. And there's the Ghost Walk for the first time in this game used defensively. 40.
Yeah, it's weird to see. There's the aggression from Cooler, and somehow RAISY goes flying up. A little bit of a wall jump as well, and he puts the beat on him, hits him with the Elmers, and is able to get yet another frag up 5-0. Flubs the jump, though. But
yeah,
I don't think
he
Cooler heard
does.
it.
But I think RAISY's confidence level is just, it's too high. He'll make a rocket jump at sub 60. and does get tagged with the rocket right there, but perfectly timed into the mega room to grab that. It's going to pick up some more rail slugs, which you've seen what he's been able to do. And then right on top of that heavy, he has got this major item cycle down in a major way, and it shows from the frags. 5-0, 4 minutes into this game.
And this is just dominance on a level we haven't really seen from RAISY in a little bit here. It's the shotgun switch. Wow. Up close and personal, right on time for the Mega as well. I mean, the items in terms of Mega, only one Mega pickup for Cooler. 4 heavies, so not bad, but I think RAISY is more than willing to keep giving up this heavy, especially if it leads to frags like this one, as Cooler's just stuck in the alley. He has nowhere to go, and only a matter of time.
And he had nothing but that RL. I know there's some probably big brains in chat that were like, why didn't you pull out your LG? He had nothing. Cooler had Jack right there, and RAISY knew it too. And, you know, you can kind of manhandle your opponent when you're in a situation where you've got a full suite of weapons and your opponent only has a rocket. You've got an aerial advantage as well. It's going to happen again here as Cooler, with nothing but his rocket launcher from the bottom, tries to take that heavy. But was it worth it? 9-0 halfway through this matchup, and RAISY's on pace for a 20.
It's just not safe, Cooler. Don't ever go for the heavy. It's not safe. The tri-ball not landing, unfortunately. Can he get this here? He does pick up the Mega, and Cooler with a good frag puts himself on the board. Potential for another one here, but the machine gun might be too much off the spawn, and it is, as Cooler can't land the damage he needs.
Yeah, he got on the board, which is great, but unfortunately, really have to be looking at, you know, what it took to get that singular frag, right? RAISY's been playing an unorthodox Awoken here. He has been using a, oh my gosh, from the back, using these ghost walks in a sneaky and aggressive fashion. Already up 10 frags, 10 frags in the halfway point. And Cooler has certainly turned up the aggression a bit, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to deal the damage.
Yeah, this is just mechanical dominance right now. Absolutely insane from RAISY. 13-1. And it's just crazy. Cooler has hit 1 rail. Granted, he's only shot 2. But that's just absurd to me on Awoken to only shoot 2 rails. But he doesn't have a chance to do anything else.
He doesn't. And you could just see how defensively RAISY is playing this game, even when he is controlling pretty much everything. Wow, nice flick rail from Cooler. And RAISY will suicide, and that means it's 12-1 as he blows himself up with his own rocket. Now an 11 frag game.
And again, these traps from RAISY. You could see kind of his CS-inspired traps, as he just leaves, he just lets him run off. He's like, that's fine. Everything's fine.
That stings a little bit, seeing that, you know? Just like Keystone Cops, right? Like they go down one alley and they come out the second floor window, and it's just like, what is going on here? As RAISY is going to grab himself a rail and immediately tag one. Gonna look for a second as he waits for his opponent up top. And yeah, I mean, 3 minutes left to go, and RAISY is gonna decisively take this one, and the sweeps Sunday continues.
Yeah, just what a day. The Quake has been fantastic, but unfortunately for most of these players, it's been a rough one. I like that little jump there from RAISY. Gets some good rocket damage, and again, Cooler's caught out in the heavy area, needs to be very, very careful, but RAISY is actually just going to back away this time. Says, you know what, I already have a pretty big lead. I don't really need to risk anything here.
It's exactly right, and time is on his side. He can do with it whatever he pleases. He could literally just start running at Cooler and probably allow a few frags to go down. And, you know, you could just see it in kind of RAISY's play as Cooler's looking for his opponent, but RAISY playing that sneaky Nix, and 2 minutes left to go. Cooler has an idea where RAISY is, but RAISY's not budging at all.
This is like a mini game for RAISY where he knows he's going to win, right? And now it's just a matter of, well, I don't even want you to really see me. I'm just going to hit and run. I'll play super defensive and just be a little frustrating, even though there's no other maps to play. Like, this is just how RAISY is, and it's really fun to watch. I mean, as Cypher said, completely frustrating to play against, but as a spectator, you gotta love it.
It's a visual aid to exactly what Cypher was talking about last week. He talked about, there's a lot of emotion displayed in his game versus RAISY, and he said, man, like I really appreciate RAISY as a player, but God, is he frustrating and annoying to play against? And you're kind of seeing right here why. It's his arena right now, and it doesn't feel good when you are feeling like the visitor, even though it might supposed to be kind of home turf. And we haven't seen a frag, but what we are seeing, 40, is a pretty impressive display here by RAISY, just frankly not allowing Cooler to find him, not allowing him to dish out any damage. And he's going to score frag number 13, but it's unreal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to quote the handsome man catch-up on this one and say he's just not letting him play the game. He's just not letting him play Quake. And it's so incredibly frustrating. And as he's just racking on more kills near the end, too. RAISY, just complete dominance, 3-0 in this set over Cooler. And everyone should be terrified of going against RAISY.
I mean, that is something that has probably diminished as a thought in people's minds based off of the last couple of weeks, but they're going to watch this matchup and probably everyone after this, and they're going to clearly know that you are absolutely correct. RAISY is not someone that you want to mess with, as we see him take a clean sweep versus Cooler.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thought Wu-Tang was something you shouldn't mess with, but RAISY is as well. That performance was a little lethal, wouldn't you say? Why don't we bring him back and see what he has to say?
I love it, Foy. I just love it. Well done for that.
I hate
you
myself,
definitely
so I'm
deserve
glad
a
you
round
like
of applause for that. Not really too much to dissect, really. What can I say? It was just an absolute bloodbath. It was a massacre. You could say it's a bit unpredictable here and good rounds there. And yeah, pretty standard day of Quake for him, really. Cooler just couldn't really get anything going. That's why I was watching back and I just couldn't believe some of the scorelines I was seeing just like a minute later. And it was just ridiculous. And it wasn't just due to the fact that Cooler was playing bad. He wasn't at all. It's just RAISY just playing out of his goddamn mind.
Yep. I mean, we saw the 75% rail near the end of that first game. We saw some immaculate rails in that third game. And in game number 2, we saw what I would say is the by the skin of the teeth strategy that RAISY deployed, and just walking away with 25 or sub 25 health every single fight. He made it work for him. He definitely picked all the right champions that fit his style. And Cooler, unfortunately, is going to continue to hold on to the number 10 spot with a 1-2 series record, unable to grab a map in that last matchup.
Yeah, just if you're a Cooler fan, you hate to see it, but the dominance from RAISY was just too much. It was too much nonstop across all 3 maps. Absolutely a treat, absolutely insane. And I think we're going to try and get a word with him so we can kind of poke and prod and see exactly what's going on. And if we, like the bounce back game, kind of after the Cypher thing, we can kind of see how he feels about all that. Hopefully we can get him in here shortly. But yeah, incredible display.
Yeah, just unbelievable. It's like I said, the scores literally speak for themselves. It wasn't the fact that it was really that close in any way. Yeah, sure. Cooler was actually okay in game 2 to start with. And then once again, it spiraled out of control, full out of control, contesting everything, and didn't take enough chunk of damage in order to not contest the next item. So what could you do, really? I know it's just on the last few minutes, but yeah, it felt like it was a lot longer considering how many frags came out from RAISY towards the end.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that second game. There's just some really unfortunate exchanges there, but it was an excellent display by RAISY, and hopefully we'll get to hear from him. If not, one thing I will predict here, gentlemen, I predict that our next matchup is not going to be a 3-0, and I know we're going to be talking about it. I think it's going to be explosive, but not in a 3-0 kind of way.
I think that's fair.
I don't know. Considering how things have been going on earlier on, I have no idea. But yeah, I have to agree. If these two don't go to a 2-1 either way, I'll be gobsmacked.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Coming up, we got Wenger Cypher, in case you weren't aware, so that one is going to be absolutely mental. And I think I'd have to agree that if we see a 3-0 either way, just a bonkers ending to a nuts day if that
Oh, yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine either player taking it like that over the other. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I don't know. I know that it's already crazy that we've had nothing but sweeps up until this point, and that's pretty absurd to me. So something's in the water. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It is. Yeah, I wish Flea was here because he would know exactly how many times this has happened, and I don't know. I don't know how many that is. It cannot be that many.
I still can't believe how many frags that RAISY got at Molten Falls. Like, you don't really see many games go past 10, like, just for one player, but the amount we just saw, it was just absolute madness. It really was.
So, I mean, I hate to be the negative guy on the desk, but I mean, at this point, are you worried as a Cooler fan? Like, oh, he's going to go to relegation. Like, this is not looking good.
I think. Go
ahead,
first.
Lethal. Oh, no, go ahead.
I should have pointed that question to somebody. I'm terrible at my job, so don't
We
worry
can
about
both
me.
do it at the
You
same
said
time.
Cooler fan. It was like that's bait.
It's like, I know who I'm talking to.
Like, I think even if he goes into relegation or has to, try and survive, I still think he's more than capable of securing his spot still. That's all I was going to say. I'm not going to cry.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll try.
Yeah. You put Cooler up against the wall, and I think he'll fight. So I kind of agree. In fact, I would be scared for anyone coming through the EU Challenger if that was indeed the case. I mean, we said that same thing about Toxic, and so
And he
it
might
could
be the
happen.
one that
Anything's
comes
possible.
through. We don't know. We don't know. But I do have some awful news. We're going to have to skip the interview. I'm sorry. Blame it all on me. Power cables, my feet, they're gigantic. I don't know what to say. But I do know that we have one more set for the day. It's going to be Wenger Cypher. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the madness. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.